Hey everybody, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. This is going to be a real laid back one, okay? Wasn't planning on doing one of these today, but I just realized I hadn't posted a heavy rotation in a while, and I've been meaning to. It's just been so busy. It's been crazy, so I'm going to talk to you about some records I found, and some things I've been listening to at the house, and even going to talk about some podcasts I've been into. Just give you an update on my life in music and other things. So today the kids are playing in the house. My door's open to my room, so they might run in here at any point. So this is just real laid back, chill episode. I got my little green box here that I bring around. As you saw at the top of the episode, I got a Moog, it's a Moog. Sub 37, subsequent 37. Really good, versatile synthesizer. Been wanting one for a really long time. I really don't know all that much about the nitty gritty with it, so I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to use them, and like it's plug in and go. It's so easy to use them, and like immediately you can get cool sounds out of it. Immediately you can experiment and do cool things with it. So I got a really good deal on one. Like I said, I've been looking for one for a really long time, and so it's just something that's fun. And then like the kids, you guys know that your parents, you try to keep them away from the TV as much as possible. Try to keep them, get their brain engaged in a bunch of different things. And so this is something that they love. Like they get in there and like my kids are figuring stuff out. I'm like, well, how'd you do that? You know, so they're 4 and 7, 2 boys. So they're freaking loving it. Just getting in there and playing, making sounds and all that stuff. So anyways, it's been a lot of fun at the house with the Moog synthesizer. Been learning a lot about that. I went over some of this stuff in my live stream, but I thought I would go over a few more because I took the live stream down. It was like an hour and a half of me going on about half of it being about records. But this is really cool. I just got this Jeff Beck Truth Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. Incredible sounding record. This is one of those records I always kind of thought got overlooked. You can get them for really cheap. The original presses usually. I mean, now they've gone up a little bit, but used to these. I mean, you find them in the dollar bin. Now, I mean, they're like $10 or $15 if they're clean. But this is a fantastic record. Really killer. Obviously, Jeff Beck's an amazing guitar player, but a lot of good guest appearances. Rod Stewart's just killing it on some vocals. But this Mo-Fi, for some reason, has skyrocketed, even though it just came out. They're going for like $150 now because they're out of stock. So actually ended up being able to get a couple copies of this, sold one in the shop, and then brought one home. So really good listen, amazing stuff. Beck's Bolero is probably my favorite on here, but anyways, just amazing record, really good Mo-Fi to have. It's one of those records that I'd love to have a special copy of it, you know, something that's not just your typical. In addition to that, just got this. I've been wanting this Rod Stewart Gasoline Alley. This is a great Rod Stewart record, and I know you guys, this is the original Vertigo pressing of that. You know, you see Rod Stewart records. My kids are making some noises. You see a lot of Rod Stewart records for $3, $2, $1. You know, and they're a dime a dozen. This is a really good one. This one's usually in the $5 to $10 range. The Vertigo's, you know, obviously more, but really great record. This is one of my favorites of his. This one and what is it called? The one with Maggie May on it. Gosh, talking out of my butt here, but I grew up listening to that one. Every Picture Tells a Story. That one is great. That's my favorite Rod Stewart record. It might not be the best one, but it's my favorite. So, anyways, also just recently got this Pink Floyd Saucer Full of Secrets. It's in the Shrink original tower pressing. It is like impossibly clean, and I have a good Japanese pressing of it, but this is just in killer condition, beautiful shape. So you know what? I kept it. Sue me. Another one. I'm always on the search for a perfect copy of this. The band's music from Big Pink. This one is in the Shrink with the price sticker. Beautiful condition. That original, like a lot of people don't know, this original black label, like if you're in the record selling business, Look at these on eBay, what they go for when they're clean. They're expensive. So if you find one of these and it's clean, don't undersell yourself. It's not a $10 record. If it's clean, it's on up there. But they're just tough to find anymore. A lot of them you see those orange Capitol labels or whatever. But great record. As far as it's not full force hard rock and roll. It's more of an Americana, country based rock and roll. But it's just amazing stuff. Really love this record. Let's see what else I've got here. Some of these I showed in my live stream, like I said. Rare Bird. The original U.S. press has a different cover. It's got like an orangey cover with a really weird looking bird on the front. Not this one. This is a cool looking bird. This is original UK on Charisma. And I've just kind of looking for this really good organ driven rock. Proggy rock. It's really, really good. I love this record. And the U.S. pressings, the original U.S.'s are like $10. They're cheap. That's a really good, like if you're just getting into psych and you want like some of those early staple psych records, Rare Bird is one, but the UK is kind of hard to get. So a friend of mine was selling this and I got it in a bundle deal, so I got a good price on it. But yeah, the original U.S., you should be able to find them pretty easily. This was another one, I don't even know if I'm saying this right, JDSIMO. This came out in, it's JD, so his first name or whatever is JD, and last name is SIMO. But this came out in 2019. Don't know much about it. I just listened to it, and it is like, if you like the early 70s hard rock, blues rock, fusion type stuff, this is really, really on par with that. But he's a new artist and still putting stuff out, obviously. I mean, this just came out in 2019. I looked into him. He's still got music like coming out, so really good stuff. That's something that you should check out. If you're into that, really great guitar work on here. Can't say enough good about JDSIMO, if that's how you say his name. This one is called Hermal. I'll give you the catalog number so you can look it up on Discogs or whatever. So there it is, LTP 85017. This is some good Japanese hard rock. It's got that tiger on the front, and this is like a really cheap record. I think they're like $30 or something. Really cheap. So that's one to seek out if you can find it. I think you can listen to clips of it on YouTube. Best way to do that is look it up on Discogs, and Discogs has all the YouTube links and stuff in there where you can listen to it. But really cool. I didn't know this one either, and he was like, "You'll like this, trust me." So I bought it, and it's a Japanese press, and it's got tiger on the cover. I'm sold. Enough. This is Buddy Guy, Man in the Blues. Really good. I think that Buddy Guy, a lot of people, I don't know, in my experience, a lot of people talk about Buddy Guy. You've heard about Buddy Guy. But they don't put him in the same circles as like an innovator of the electric guitar like Jimi Hendrix was. But I think that he was like equally an influence to Stevie Ray Vaughan as Hendrix was. Which everybody listens to Stevie Ray Vaughan, they're like, oh, he's a total Hendrix ripoff. Which there's a lot of influence there, obviously. But I mean, I think Buddy Guy and Hendrix were in the same, circle there. I think that they were drinking from the same stream. But really good. This one has the Mary Had a Little Lamb that you hear Stevie Ray Vaughan ripping on. Really good electric blues and just fantastic stuff. I mean, he's the bridge between some of the older blues guys and like the new wave of blues rock. And just Buddy Guy's fantastic. But this is a record I've been looking for a while. A Man in the Blues, and it's just smoking. Really good guitar riffs on there. I talked about this very briefly in my live stream, but this is Daniel Johnston. I've been looking for any Daniel Johnston record because like a lot of his original stuff's on cassette. But this is called the Summer 1983 Yip Jump Music. Big recommendation. Daniel Johnston, there's a music documentary called The Devil and Daniel Johnston. And it's Johnston, like Johnson with a T. But it is a fantastic music documentary. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend you check it out. It is one of my favorites I've ever seen. Regardless of whether you like his music or not, it's an amazing story. And so Daniel Johnston was this really cool guy. He lived in Austin, Texas. He worked at McDonald's. He had bipolar disorder, amongst some other things, and just really struggled with mental health and stuff. But along with it, was a fantastic artist, like a lot of artists are. They struggle with some mental health issues with having just brilliant bursts of creativity and genius. So he did artwork, and he did obviously he did music. So anyways, his songs are different. They're weird. He's known as one of the innovators of like lo-fi music and indie singer-songwriter type stuff. He is a very unique artist. His songs are not for everybody. You can hear my kids in the background screaming. His songs aren't for everybody. They're very they're very simple songs, but he doesn't have a great voice, and his instruments that he plays with sound like he bought them at Walmart or something. Like, just really simple, almost childlike songs, but they're really great songs. Like, they're written well. He's very prolific. I mean, he must have wrote thousands of songs, but I won't spoil it for you, but you really need to watch that documentary if you haven't already. And like I said, you may not even like the type of music, but I would venture to say it may be my favorite music documentary I've ever seen. It's so good. So it's called The Devil and Daniel Johnston, so check that out. Had this one forever ago, and someone brought it in and traded it in. This is Bob Marley Legends, and this is I don't know, some limited edition with the burlap sack cover, and then you've got the tricolor Rasta vinyl. But yeah, I mean, obviously, what to say about Bob Marley? Early on, this is probably the first Bob Marley record I ever found. I found it at a flea market. An original, like, I don't know when it first came out, the Island pressing or whatever. But then, like, maybe, I don't know, this is a stupid story, probably shouldn't tell it, but like 2010 or 12 or something, whenever this, I don't even know when this came out. I had found one of these in a collection that I got, and it was one of the hemp ones like this. And I was so stoked about it, but I got really desperate, needed some money, and I sold it on eBay. And at the time, it was going for a lot. And tried to get another one, like, immediately regretted it. And just could never find one at a decent enough price. And then, like, I kind of forgot about it. And then someone brought this in the shop, and I was like, yes! So I kept it, because it sparks some joy. This is another one. Savoy Brown, Getting to the Point. Savoy Brown, incredible blues rock. This is one of my favorites of theirs. Really, I mean, I'm talking killer stuff. The UK pressings of Savoy Brown records are astronomical, but a lot of the US pressings are super cheap. So if you're in the US, you can get them for like $5-10 maybe. This one's, sometimes 15 or 20 if it's in really good shape. This was like perfect. It's a demo copy with the stamp and everything. So I look for really good copies of Savoy Brown stuff, and this one, until I find a UK, this one will have to do. But I got a couple UK Savoy Browns. But if you're into blues rock, check out Savoy Brown, often slept on and underrated blues rock band. Big shout out here. This is the Poets of Rhythm. This is 2000, I think it came out in 2001. Discern to Find, this is a Daptone release, and they finally reissued. This is a 20th anniversary reissue. It's on unlimited black vinyl. It's hilarious. That's the hype sticker. But anyways, if you like that Coleman Records Daptone vibe, this is really good neo meters funk instrumental type music. Fantastic. It just came out. You should be able to find it. If you're local, I've got tons of copies of the shop. I ordered like 1 million because I was like, this is a record I'm going to play in the shop all the time, and people are going to be like, what is this? And I'm like, boom, here you go. Because it's just that good. Really great stuff. High recommendation. Stream it first. See if you like it, but you will. The Poets of Rhythm. Great stuff. If you hear the dinosaurs roaring in the background, my kid's got some dinosaur toys he's making a commotion with. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. I have had this in the shop forever, and I ordered. It's one of those things. Sometimes I'll be like, man, we should really get this record for the shop, and I'll look it up, and it'll be on back order, so I order them, and then I forget I did that, and then a month down the road, I'm like, man, where's a Pantera record would be nice to have. I'm going to order something. I go online, I order it. Forget I did it before. And so one time like 25, 30 copies of this showed up, and I'm like, crap, I must have ordered this like a lot of times. So I've got an abundance of these at the shop, and so I was listening to, I've talked about the podcast before. There's a podcast called Disgraceland. You can only get it on Amazon Music, but it's free, so it's no big deal. But Disgraceland is an incredible podcast. Oh my gosh. It's like a mixture of true crime and rock history. It's really, really good. So they had an episode on Pantera and Dimebag getting shot and all this stuff. Really great episode. And so like the way he tells it, he talks about like he paints a picture, like it's a whole story. It's not just something like saying, okay, well, one day this. I mean, he doesn't do the history like really boring. He tells a whole story. It's really, really captivating. Very well written, very well done. Highly recommend the podcast. Couldn't recommend it enough. But anyways, so they were talking about Pantera, and I love like the Pantera before this. This is their major label debut, but they had a couple before this as well. They had like 2 or 3 before this, 3 I think. But Dimebag, obviously, iconic guitar god or whatever. But just fantastic record. I had Vulgar Display of Power, and then like on the podcast, he was talking about this record so much, I was like, I need to just grab one. I got like 1,000 of them at the shop, so I grabbed one and threw it on. And I was spinning in the shop, and I sold like 5 copies while I had it going. I was like, yeah, this is really good stuff. So for the time, they had the ZZ Top meets Metallica sound, and it's just good. Texas metal type of sound. But yeah, I highly recommend that podcast. And I'll talk about some more podcasts at the end as well. Let's see what else I got here. This one's called Merpel. This is some Italian prog. Really fantastic stuff. The originals of this go for like $600 or $700, but mind-blowing Italian prog record. This was a reissue that I got from a buddy I was talking about a minute ago, but it's called Merpel, and it is dynamite stuff, like purple with an M. But the reissues I think you can get reasonably cheap, and definitely worth listening to online at least. This is another one I've been looking for a long time. Czar, C-Z-A-R. That's some UK psych 1970. The original pressings of this go for $1,000. But I've been wanting even just a reissue until one day I'll find one, But the reissue is fine for me for now. And this is just like really mind-bending psychedelic with a tinge of prog. Very, very good stuff. But, incredible. Czar. Been wanting one. Another one here is Orange Peel. Orange Peel's 1970, another killer krautrock record. Man, look, you can see my whole turntable. You can tell what I'm listening to, Plantasia. But anyways, Orange Peel, amazing prog rock. You gotta hear it. Fantastic stuff. Prog rock, krautrock type. It's along with the Diluvium type sound. Really good stuff. I think the members of the band were pretty young. This is a really cool one. It's called Ice Melting Your Mind. And I say it's a really cool one. It's not. It's from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a private press thing. But I'll let you see the label. But it's most of the songs are like subpar folk songs. But there's one song on here that is absolutely crazy good. I think it's a 5-card draw. I think it's one. But it's like mind-blowing. Crazy good guitar. It's worth getting just for that one song. It's killer. But the rest of the album's kind of meh. If it wasn't for that one song, this album will be worthless. But these go for like $100 or something. But this is a really good private press little folk cycle thing. Let's see what else we got here. Galcosta, self-titled. Galcosta, as a Brazilian salsa type, Brazilian Latin rhythm. Really good stuff. But this is like the most psychedelic Galcosta you can get. This is an original Brazilian press. Just recently got this. And it's such a good mixture between that Latin rhythm and psychedelic rock. Very, very, very good stuff. Love Galcosta. Got a few Galcosta records. This is probably my favorite. So glad to finally get that one. Let's see. So I'm trying to go through my box. I got a box here that like I keep the stuff I'm listening to right now in this box. Oh man, so I'm pulling some stuff out of there to show you guys. Alright. Going through it. This is Alan Franklin Explosion. Really good, what's it called? Yeah, Alan Franklin Explosion, the Blues Climax. There's a couple really killer guitar riff and songs on here. There's a couple more that are more like country rocky. So it's kind of all over the place. A lot of times you'll see old albums like this that they don't stick to one genre too well. They do like a lot of different songs, have a lot of different feels to it. Like here's another one. What's this? Is that it? Man, it just happened to be right here. Mosaicus, Magic Tube is another one that's that way. It just happened to be right there. I got it a while back, but it's like they do a bunch of different types of music. So like if somebody's like, hey, can you play my wedding? Or like, can you want to play on this radio station that just plays country rock? Or like, you know, you want to do this or that. So they can be more versatile. So, but I think a lot of times they thought it would give them more opportunities, but in the end it ended up kind of shooting them in the foot because their album was kind of unstable and it would alienate some, you know, types of listeners that only like one thing. But for me that I like all types of music, I can appreciate an album like this. But this has got some really great guitar riffing in it, and it's like private press, super tough to find. A friend of mine had it and I bought it from him. I have a lot of friends like that. I know that you guys sometimes people comment and they're like, who are your friends? Like, why are you getting all these awesome records? But I have like friends, number one, like all over the country that I like buy and trade with, and then I also have friends here locally that when they need some cash and they like go into their collections and bring me stuff and they know what I like, so I'm a sucker for it. So it goes all over. Like there are people that live like in other states that mail me stuff and like we do deals like that too. So it's, you know, it's a lot of fun, but I get in trouble that way because I buy too many records. This is one I've been wanting forever. Kevin Ayers' Joy of a Toy. This is an early Harvest press. It's not a first, it's a second press, but I'm fine with that. Just super hard to find. I was okay with the US copy, but my friend had this. It's a UK, and man, it's one of those records. I'm sure you've seen the cover before. I remember when I first started watching YouTube videos. Well, when I first started watching record-related YouTube videos, I would watch all these channels that would talk about psych and stuff, and I would see them talk about this record, and I'm like, and I listen to it and think, man, I really don't get it. You know, I don't really get why it's so great, but eventually it just hit me the right way, and it's like a more proggy Zombies, Odyssey, and Oracle. So it's like psych pop, but it's got a little bit of a prog tinge to it as well. But really great record. I can't recommend this enough. It's one of those things, if you haven't found it yet, if you hadn't listened to it in a while and you don't like it, give it another shot. It's really, really good. But like I said, I've been wanting it forever and finally just got one. But on that note, like I think it's really funny, you know, now that I have like, I don't know, 50-something thousand subscribers on here. That was never my goal to do that, like to get a bunch of subscribers. I mean, it never wasn't my goal, because whatever exposure I can get to help my shop, I will, you know. But it's just funny now that I have that many people and like so many new channels are popping up. But I remember when I first started my channel, I thought it's too late. Like there's too many channels now. Like if I start my channel, it's not gonna stand out. No one's gonna care. No one's gonna watch my stuff. And even when I was at the level to where I only had a few hundred subscribers, like I'd already built a community of people around me that I could talk music with, and it was really fun. Like, so that's what I think. Like, I know some people watch these videos and they have no idea what I'm talking about, but there's this whole vinyl community where people, you know, tons of people that make videos, and they might have like 200 subscribers, but it's fine. Like they have it's all about the knowledge that you get from people and like learning about new records and new music and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. But all that to say, if you haven't started a channel yet and you want to, just do it. It doesn't matter if you have thousands of subscribers or whatever, it's a lot of fun. If I didn't have any subscribers, if I only had like 100, I'd still do it because I enjoy talking about music with people. That's really like why I do it in the first place. And sometimes I do videos and try to, drum up some attention for my shop and stuff like that. I won't lie, but it's just the main drive behind it is the communal aspect of like being able to talk music with people. But anyways, all that to say, back when I started my videos, I was like, it's too late. There's already too many channels, and now there's like way more, but there's little niches that you see people and that you connect with them, you click with them, and some people you don't. It's whatever. So I do think it's fun to go around and watch some of the newer channels and see what they're talking about too, because it's stuff I don't know about. Like newer music I don't know much about. So this one got a really clean copy of Curtis Mayfield, Sweet, Exorcist. I try to get all the Curtis Mayfield stuff in good condition, but just a really iconic funk figure. If you guys haven't seen my funk video, I did the top 10 funk albums. He's on it. Spoiler alert, but just a really great record and hard to find in clean shape. I found a bunch in the past that have all been trashed, so really good one to find. Here's another Grateful Dead, Anthem of the Sun in the Shrink. The cleanest copy I've seen in a long time, so I brought it home from the shop. I'm going to compare it with mine to see. But yeah, like the wax is clean. It's in the Shrink. To see how clean mine is and maybe make a swap, if you know what I mean. It's another one, Tomorrow's Gift. Really good prog record. Really hard to get. This is another one. These records, the originals are $1,000. I don't know. Like some of them, if I find them, I will. If I find them, I'll find them. But some of them, my son's making some loud noises. But if I don't find them, whatever, and like I'm not going to spend $1,000 on every record. If there's something really super special, I might go all out and spend a lot on it. But it's nice to have the reissues for the stuff that's out of reach. And then if you ever do find it, you can just sell the reissue or trade it for something. But Tomorrow's Gift is a really good prog record, and like I said, it's a $1,000 record. But fantastic stuff. I listened to it a couple times in the shop yesterday. Definitely well worth checking out if you haven't heard of it. I talked about this label a few weeks ago. I think this is the Justice label. This is a North Carolina garage rock label. So you see the back of this record, and it's a Joker 6. Typical, Justice Records stuff. But the front, so this is the Joker 6. The front is the Marlboros. Real Live Girl. So much a man can take. But so I was like, I remember getting this record and I'm like, why the heck is it two? But these are the guys that are the backing band. The Joker 6 is the backing band, and the vocals are by the Marlboros. So this is really good, just regional North Carolina soul. Not sure where they're from in North Carolina. Let's see. Shoot, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. But yeah, I'm a sucker for Justice stuff. I want to get all the Justice records copies that I can get because there's not that many in this regional. It's cool. This is Howlin' Wolf, More Real Folk Blues. I did not have an original of this. I had a reissue, so I just got this original. I'm gonna swap it out. But Howlin' Wolf, obviously, one of my favorite blues guys ever. Unreal. The Flying Dogs of Jupiter, American Dream. Played this in the shop yesterday, and a couple people came up and said, "What Grateful Dead album is this? I've never heard this before." And it's not Grateful Dead, but it sounds a lot like Grateful Dead. It sounds a lot like Phil Lesh on here. There's a lot of Grateful Dead, influence on this for sure. But yeah, I just the first time I saw this record was probably 5 years ago, and what drew me to it was the little Scottish Terrier right there. But really good jam band. Like it's got the song. I mean, it sounds just like the Grateful Dead. But it's pretty good stuff. Kind of a rare record, but I thought I'd tell a story. So the Scottish Terrier. I was about 10 years old, and my grandma, who lives in Asheville, my mom would drive me to Shelby which is like halfway between Charlotte and Asheville. And my grandma picked me up in Shelby and take me to her house in the summertime. And I would spend like 2 weeks at my grandma's house with my cousins. It was like a lot of fun in Asheville. So I spent a lot of time in Asheville in the summers when I was a kid. And like all that side of the family lives in Asheville, so I'd go up multiple times a year, just have a ton of fun in Asheville. So anyways, she picks me up and she's got this little baby Scottish Terrier, and I was like, I loved it. It was like so cute. And so I'm sitting in the back seat, and she's like, just let him sit on your lap, and so I'm letting him sit on my lap, and I'm like, he's not gonna pee on me, is he? And she's like, no, he's not gonna pee on you. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I just feel warmth. I'm like, dang it, this dog freaking peed on me. So I'm like, Grandma, this dog's peeing on me, and she's laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And I'm like so mad that this dog just peed all over me. And so we pull up to the gas station, and she would always say, got to get some Petro. She'd never say gas, she'd say Petro, but she got to the gas station, and she's pumping gas, and I'm just fuming, pissed that she's been making fun of me about this dog pee all over me. I'm freaking out. And so she's out there, and I'm talking to her, and she's laughing. And I'm like, man. And all of a sudden, she overflows her gas tank, and it spews gas all over her. And she's ranting and raving and all mad, so she gets in the car, and all you smell is freaking dog pee and gas. And I'm laughing at her because she's covered in gas. She's laughing at me because I'm covered in pee. It was a great memory with my grandma. She's great. And she's like freaking, she probably almost, she's in her late 80s, but she still gardens every day. She's awesome. Anyways, so everything but the kitchen sink, really good garage band. I thought this record was worth more than it is. The stereos go for like $100 and the monos go for like 40. I don't know, go figure. But really good garage record. A gentleman came in the shop. He's a viewer, really nice guy. And he brought me a bunch of records. I think this is the only one I kept from him. But this is one I just kind of been looking for a few years. And really good garage stuff. Last one is Bops. Bops is this Chilean prog, psychedelic prog rock. Originals of this are $1,000. And like nearly impossible to find. But it's really good. This is a freaking killer record. Bops. Come on with the Bops. But anyways, I was going to also tell you guys about some podcasts I've been into, if you're into podcasts. One is called Snatching Sinatra. It's got it's John Stamos narrating the story of Frank Sinatra Jr. getting kidnapped. Really, really cool story. It's really interesting, and I'm not all the way through it because I think there's 10 episodes. I think I'm like 7 episodes in, but it is really worth listening to. It's that true crime meets music history. It's fantastic. It's really, really good stuff. And so there's like a crossover episode where the guy Jake Brennan from the Disgraceland podcast interviews John Stamos about this podcast, and it's like, I think it's called After Party something, but it's on the Disgraceland podcast where he's talking about this podcast and a bunch of other stuff. Really fascinating. John Stamos, he's, apart from him being an actor and all that stuff, and he's been involved in, like, he's in the Beach Boys now. He's in the band somehow. I don't know how that happens, but he's played with a bunch of different musicians throughout the years, and so he knows a lot about it. Another one is, which I don't pump up. This is the only non-music related podcast I will recommend because this specific episode is so good. Joe Rogan's Experience podcast. And I don't listen to all. There's a ton of them, and they're all like 4 hours long, so I don't listen to all of them. But there's one episode that was a fairly recent episode. It's by a guy named Jason Wilson, and he is a martial artist. He teaches martial arts, and he had a video on the internet like a while back of this kid trying to punch a board, and this kid's like maybe like 8 or 10 years old. He's trying to punch a board, and he starts crying. And he kneels down and starts talking to the kid and just gives him so much wisdom on, like, dealing with your emotions and, like, exploring why he's crying and all that stuff. And I think a lot of people in our generation, your emotions as a man, your dad tells you to suck it up or whatever. And so then you have all these emotions you've never dealt with. And so then when your kids are going through those emotions, you don't know how to handle it. And so you do the same thing. And so my dad, I have a great relationship with my dad, and he's always been super supportive of me, and it told me he loved me every day. Like, I have no complaints about my dad. But I will say, like, as fathers, if you're a father especially, you know, you build on what you knew, and what your dad knew. So your dad taught you this certain way. So then you become a father and you're like, okay, how can I be better for my kids? How can I teach them how to be even a better dad? So as we say, like, your father's ceiling is your floor. So you just keep building on it. And so 10 generations down the road, if you keep that up, your kids are, like, you know, really well off and have a healthy mindset. So anyways, this guy on here, Jason Wilson, he did a podcast with him, and it's just like, for me, it was life-changing, because I'm always trying to figure out how to be a better dad, and how to support my kids better. And so, like, that podcast was really, really good. And like I said, I don't agree with everything Joe Rogan says or anything like that, but 99% of the podcast is this guy talking. Joe hardly talks at all, but there's a lot of good podcasts in there. He interviews a lot of other comedians and stuff like that, but I wouldn't recommend all of them. But that specific episode is very, very, very good, and I would definitely recommend checking it out if you're a dad and that type of thing is something you would like. But anyways, thank y'all for watching this video, taking all this time, and caring about what I have to say. So we'll see you guys next time.